before we go on further, it's always a good idea that since we have actually been dealing with this of the make use a lot of the image and a whole lot of things, creating a lot of the username and a whole lot of things. And then when we go, since we are not logged in, from the station whereby we logged in, okay, let's try logging in actually. Or let's look at this for example. When we are logged into a new account, you can see this kind of information which is going to be displayed, and that we have actually handled it when we log in. But also we need to actually, when we click on it, we need to actually see the a user profile information, like the image that you uploaded. I think with other tests like your username, that of the email, that of the where you can update your profiles, like that of the username, and the emails. You can also choose a particular picture of your choice. So to achieve this is basically simple. The first step we need to actually do is to go to our views.py. This is where the main logic is going to be. So we can actually create a function. Let's call that function. Let's actually call that user underscore profile. Simple as that. And remember the first parameter is take is that of the request, and then after that we're going to actually do some other otherwise. Let's just put pass here, so we won't be getting this kind of error So we're going to go to our forms to create the forms that we actually want to be presented, because when we look at this guide as our target, we're looking at that of the username and email and this of the picture. You can say that of the image form. So the first step, we are going to go to this of our forms or py. Forms or py, we are going to create the first one, which is this of the you can say username, and for that of the email, and the second they are going to be single, and that of the other one is going to be that of the image. So to achieve this is basically simple. So to achieve this, we're going to so we're going to copy this. Let's just copy this starting point. It's going to be similar. Let's just paste it. So here we can call it can say user, can say update. So that should be update form. Well, I trying to say that I want to update our form. So we're going to hit on that of the forms dot model. This is going to be model form. I think that should be model form, yeah, which we actually imported earlier, which is this model form. And for that of the form, we actually imported it also. Let us go up, which is this form. So I'm going to go back. So since we're actually inherited from this, say we're going to refer to that of user, and what parameter do you want to user to actually be able to update username and that of email address? You can start to give maybe that of the first name, last name, any one of your choice. So we're going to come and say username, and this is going to be what email. Remember that Django thing to actually do these things for us, like how we actually set it here. So and we're going to just do similar thing. We're just going to copy this, just override this on the second one I wanted to do. I'm going to call it what? User piece what update. So you can say update form. Let's know what I'm doing with form. So you're going to hear from that on the form does model form. And then we're going to set the model to that of the image. The image, which was the image, was the model that we actually, so you can come and say that of the image. Remember that we actually created this image in this of our models, the py. Let's go here. This was a charge of handling those of the image. So one thing you should actually remember that this image and our user models that was actually being connected together. So you don't need, since we actually want to actually make use of this image, so here's supposed to be only image field. I'm going to get rid of this, because when we go to our models.py, only the out of the image field was actually being set, and then it was connected to this of the user model, which is also connected to this of our post and class. I can say post model. With this, I've actually written everything that we actually need, which is model.py, and then that of username and that of the email. So let's head over to our views.py. So let's look at these guys. This, get rid of this, get rid of this also. Login. These guys are not really doing much right now. Okay, so in this our views.py, this is where the logic is going to. But before that, since we're actually gotten for this of the form, so we can actually import out of the user piece of this. So we're going to the second one. User, I think that was user update form. I think that seems to make sense. So we actually imported these two guys. The next what we're going to do is also to implement it in our views the spire. This is where the magic is going to happen. Since we know in our template what we're going to do is actually to make a post request. So if somebody then tend to update his profile, you need to actually click on this update. But once you click on it, we're going to actually make a post request. So this we know we're going to do, we're going to set it in our template. So we're going to say if our request, which is request or what method is being set to that of the post, we're going to perform some actions. First, we're going to, you can say user underscore email, that's correct, so underscore update. I'm going to set it to that of the user update form. But this guy is going to wait for that of username and that of the email. So that's why I just gave it this variable. So that after that we're going to do, we're going to set out of request post. So what you actually send is going to be stored in it, and then the instance that's going to be there is still going to be out of the user. You can say request the information that has been stored there. So let's look at the ideology here. Request post is the new information that I actually sent on server, which can list of the input that I actually set here. And on that of the instance is going to be what is going to be actually be there already. So let's actually do that. So we're going to, the first parameter is going to be request the what post, and then we're going to set that of the instance. We're going to set instance to that of the request, into that of the request the what user. Simple as that. And also for the second, we also want to also render that of the image. So we're going to say image update. So we're going to set it to that of the user picture, that of the piece update. So for this of the piece update, the first parameter is going to be this of the request post. That of the request post, and also there's also called something request files, which is also required request the what files in capital letter. Because the way image was tend to be a little bit tricky compared to our other ones work. So I'm going to set that of the instance to be that of the request the user the what image. This request the user the image, you know that's the current image that is available, which is that of the default that's been sent to everybody, and then we're going to overwrite it with this of request the push. And then this actually for that of the handling of the files on our computer. So I think with this that's actually what we actually need. So we're going to check if this username and that of the email is valid and that of the image is valid. So we're going to say if this of the user underscore email update dot is underscore what valid, yeah, is valid. And okay, so let's go back, is valid. And also for this of the image update dot what is underscore valid. So we're going to check if these two guys are actually valid. If they are valid, so what are we going to do? We're going to say this of the email username and email that I have that was saved, simple as that. And also going to do for that of the image update that was saved, simple as that. So after that, we might want to like prompt maybe tell the user that your image got updated successfully. And so to do this, we can create a variable, we can call it message. We're going to make use of that of the messages we imported earlier, which was this. So this was this here, the messages we imported earlier. So if you are not understanding what we're doing, make sure to check out go back a little bit, step back, so you can actually understand what we're actually doing. I'm going to make use of this of the messages that was success. The whole lot of things that I check out of this of the messages that out of the message, you can say a whole lot of classes that can make use of this of the message, and out of the messages that success, message that alert, message that danger, a whole lot of them. So you can say our first parameter is request. So we're going to type in the message that I want to display. You can say account was updated. You can say successfully. Simple as that. So in a situation whereby the request that the person made wasn't actually a post request. So In this scenario, we're going to handle another condition. So we're going to say else if it's not a post request, so we're just going to just copy this. I think that basically going to be similar. So just copy this. I'm going to paste it down here. Okay, so what we're just going to leave out of the instances. So we're going to get rid of this. You can remember that instances are just more like what was actually currently on the web page. So we're just going to leave it the current thing that we have. I'm just going to leave it on that of the form since you don't actually did actually make that of the post request. Which was actually to click on this of the update form. So with that, we're going to go down. So next we're going to do is to move our updates form. Sorry, it's our user email form on that of image update to that of the contest. Then we can actually make it. So we're going to see our contest. Remember that should not be under any of these conditions. If it's under here, it's only going to run when these else conditions it was triggered. So we're going to set our contest. We're going to say our email. Remember this is going to be additional. It's going to be user email update. We're going to set it to user email image update. We're going to set it to email update. So we're going to move this contest over to our can start to move this somewhere here. So now we can start to move this context over to our HTML file. So this we are going to make it out of the return what render. We need to make use of render. So we're going to, the first parameter is going to be that of the request. We're going to say our what blog. We're going to be blog underscore what page, which was the name of our app slash. So what is the name of the HTML file that we're going to move this? We're going to create it, but I'm just going to call it our profile. So the next argument is that of the contest. This contest, which was actually confusing to actually understand. We just created a function user profile. Then we actually created these two forms, which were actually created here. These two, which is this user update form and this user picture update form, which is going to be kind of entry, like how we have been seeing. It's going to be this kind of entry. So we see that we're going to we're going to populate it with the current username and the current email. So if you update it, like if you try to change something here, let's say try to change this to 96666. If you don't click on make an update or click on this update, I'm not going to make any post request. So in case you made a post request, this function, this condition is going to be triggered. So it's going to get everything you put it on this user email update, and then if you do for that on the email, it's going to get it, and then when you're going to check whether the information entered are valid. If they are valid, it's going to be saved. It's going to prompt you a message that your account was updated. In case if you don't actually made any post request, this function is going to run. But don't worry, as we go, you're still going to get it really well. So we are going to go to that of the URL. We're just going to copy this as a starting point. So we don't need to actually start from the beginning. We need to actually just copy this. So we don't need to start from the beginning. So we can call this our user underscore profile. So this will know that we're going to make use of that of the user underscore what profile function. Anytime someone go to this user profile, we want to run this user dot profile dot profile was this function that we have here. We need to actually run it. Once someone navigate to slash user profile and this login page service logout page, we're going to put it to that of the what profile page. So hope this settles this. So we also want to do is actually since we have actually done everything, we're done with the form, we're done with the view, we're done with that of the form. So what is remaining for us is that of our template can actually render information on the screen. So we can call it this, we can call it our profile dot HTML, simple as that. So I also want to go to that of our base.html. So for this, what we want to do in this our base.html is that when somebody logs into our website, let someone logs in, I know that this icon is going to be shown here. So like hello is the key. So once enter, we click on this profile. We want to start getting information. So I want to set our URL that is going here can be clickable. So let's go back I think that should be somewhere around, if you authenticated, I think, yeah, this should be hello request the user. So I'm going to just copy this as a starting point, use it here. And in our case, we gave this one for us. We gave it our profile page, our page.html. I'm just going to, I think that was hello. I'm going to replace it with this profile page. So anytime we click on it, it's going to go to that of profile page. It's going to return, which has a text on it. It requires the hello that user. So that settles it. So remember that I've created a template. So yeah, a HTML file. So we can say HTML file. Let's make it a HTML file. Everything got completed for us. So we can give that title to be profile page. Simple as that. So the next thing we want to actually do, we want to actually inherit from that of the. So I don't think we need all this. I don't just get rid of it. So we're going to inherit from that of the this of our business.html. So let me just get this home as a starting point. So I'm just going to, let me just copy this into our profile, paste it, can get rid of this. Also, let me just give the title and call it profile page. And give the title and that of the blog body, and also just copy that of the end blog. Where is that end blog? So this is end blog. Just copy it over. So I saw something earlier. I wonder what these guys are actually doing here. So let me just get rid of it. I think that one I used to make an example. I think when I go back, I think they're not actually part of what is actually going on. So let me just get rid of them. Simple as that. They're not actually not on this of our home.html. So see on this of our profile HTML. We also want to make it a lot of the cryptic tags, and we made these cryptic tags when we were on that was on our about page. So we didn't make it a feed. I think that was our login page. Yeah, this cryptic tags made in feed. So I need to start typing everything from scratch. So inside of it, the first thing we want to display when we look at for the example that we have here. The first example we can see is that of the image, that of the username, and that of the this is, I think this is email. So and also want to display those are the message that's going to be prompted out if somebody, if you updated your profile. So let's actually deal with that of the message first. So we're going to open our Django and say template tag. So we're going to say for message what messages. Remember that we actually move this, where is our view file? Now views the file, we actually messages, and this was the message, was the variable. So what actually use it, let me just close all this guy, I'm becoming too much. So want to make it of inside of this of our profile, so inside of this of our profile of HTML, we can say messages in messages. So we can actually say I want to end for, I'm gonna this is actually for loop. So let's see what to do is actually to render our message. So we can make use of history tag, can say messages, message, not actual messages. So it's going to render a message. So next thing we want to actually do is actually to render that of the image. Now to actually render image, I'm going to make use of that of the image tag. I'm going to set the src to, which is going to be the path with these two code tag. We're going to say our user dot what image dot what image dot what you which is identify user, the main, can say request the user, the current user image, the image model, and that of the image field. So this is going to display the user image. We can also decide to style it a little bit, so we can give it the width. Let me get rid of this, which is the width. We can set the width to be around somewhere around 150, and we can set the height which is somewhere around 150 also, so it won't be really too big. So let's see what actually render is actually this of the, which was this, the user is same, which is the username and that of the email. So to do this for that of username, we can make use of these two tabs. We can say user, simple as that, and for that of the username, we can say user dot what. Sorry, for that email, we can see user dot what email. This identify username and this identify email. So let's actually see what we have actually done so far. Let's actually see whether we're still working in the right path. I don't know why this is actually happening. So I'm just stop it and run it back again. So server is running, let me reload it. And then let me try logging in with this Ezee keys 2. This is 2027. So let's enter the username. I think that was testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me try login. You can see we will log in successfully. I can click on this Ezee keys 2027. You can see we get out of the user, and then we get out of the email like how we expected. Don't worry, we're going to style this really better so it will make sense. So let's actually go back and also do for that one. We can start to make it, write a test which you can make it HT1 tag. You can see HT1 tag, you can see update, you can see profile. Yeah. Update. Let's go back and reload this. Let's see actually what this you can see update profile, like how we are seeing here. So now we want to actually create a test. You can see a label that is going to show username and that of username entry, email address and that of the email address entry. So to actually do this, we don't need to actually start from scratch to actually do this. I remember that we're going to create entry fields, and that entry fields are going to be inside of that of the form. So we're going to come down here and say let's make this update profile inside the form. You can see our form simple as that. So you can set the method to, you can see post the post method. So just come move this over side of it. So next we want to do is actually to make use of that of the form that we actually move into. The first one was this of this guy. So we can say make use of two template tag. We can then boost it. This is for user and for that of the email. So let's actually do the same thing for that of the thing that was image. That was image update. Over also. So we can create a button. We can call it a, but remember that don't worry, we're still going to style all these things. So we can call it update. Just leave it update. So let's actually load this. You can see that we'll get this input field. You can see username automatically because now the parameter we actually collected, they will actually set in this of our, let's get rid of the list of our, so that was forms. Yeah. We also selected this username and that of the email for our user update form for that of the image. So you can see here we can actually select a file. The image currently is actually default.jpg. Change, you can say choose file. You can, when you hit on it, it's going to open your, you can say your desktop, or so you can say your file explorer. So for you to select the image of your choice. So with this is actually working really well. So what happens when I update any of this info? So let me actually update it to maybe Ezee key 2027, maybe 77777, and then hit on this update. Let us see what happens. CRF verification field request above. So this is actually really important for any of your forms. I've made sure say this over and over. When you create a form, this is a good idea to add out of the CRF token which Django requires. I think that's actually must. So we're going to say CSRF underscore what token. Simple as that. Let's go back and reload our page. Let's set this to 777. Remember, if we set a post method, we're going to do something. If I go to home, you can see that my profile information is already changing. So you can see it's taking effect. So let me tell you, so let me change the image. This image is not looking good. Let's see whether if I have any image currently. Let me see VS Code. No image. Don't think I have anyone. No, I have no image. That is actually sick. No image. So if I have image, okay, let me try getting an image screenshot of my computer so I can make a lot of snipping to just make it a bit. Just to take a little bit of, like I say, new. You want to take something like this. Let me take myself also with it. So simple as that. Let's just say save to. Okay, so let me just save as. Let me put this on my pictures. Let me say web img, save that. Let me close this my snipping tools. Let me just go back. You can see this web.img. Let me just select it. You can see I've selected a new web.png. Hit on update. Where did I get this? Look I choose. Let me read this. Okay. It is actually fine. Choose the file again. Open. Update. Okay, I think that should update it. Let me load the page. No file choosing. I'm having this problem. Even that at times I think that was you need to actually stop your server from running and then try back again. But with that, with everything that I wrote, all the commands that I wrote, everything still remained the same, no changes. So with that, there's not really much problem for you to actually. There's not really much at times. Most of the time, you need to actually stop your server from running and then I think hit that back again, and you can also select this parameter which is actually this enc tag. You can also select this multi-line transform data. This actually helps for that of the images. So once you have done that, you can then choose a particular file. And remember that this file was let's go back. This file was the file we actually selected earlier, so we can just hit on this update. Let's just hold on a little bit. Why do I still keep on getting this? Let me choose the file again. Open and then reload it. You can see the image took effect. You can then try to view it. Why am I still getting this old image? I was supposed to be getting this old image. Even though the new image has been changed, you can see that it got changed completely from every aspect of my post. So you can start to choose back your default. I think that default seemed to make sense, which was this default. But I hit on this update for it to take effect. I think when you change it, I don't know why it's still giving me the old images. So, but you just get the idea how this actually works. So, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to actually style this and then make it to look a little bit better, to be better than this. What do I have this? Where did this guy come from? Anonymous subject and attribute meta. Yeah, okay. Where did this program come from? Login, can set to login about. To go to about register, can set to go to that and register. Let's try logging in again. That will be 227, and then I will test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then hit on this login. So we log in successful. With our default picture that we set earlier, I can see how this simple was actually to achieve. So next we're going to do is just to basically to style this a little bit more. Style this, I already have the code copied, but everything just basically still going to be to say this structure. There's not really more. That's why I wanted us to look at the structure just before we start seeing that on the style. So paste it, not really more, just that was bootstraps. That's a bootstrap. I'm making out of the CSS and a whole lot of styling. So this doesn't really want just some bootstrap style. You can see you just file, which can go to bootstrap site to actually see the meaning of some of all these guys. So let me go back, reload it. You can see it got style like what you okay that's actually got locked out. Like how we actually expected. You can see it looking like our you can see our main side that we're trying to build. So with this, everything seems to be a little bit looking good. So the next thing we want to actually do is actually, okay, let's say I log down, for example, and then I try to go back to that of the, I think that was user underscore what profile. So hit that. So you can see the attribute error at user profile. Anonymous user object has no attributes meta. You can see that nobody was actually logged in, but I went to this user's profile and I'm getting some kind of garbage that which in the most development or can say most commercial purposes it doesn't actually make sense. So I need this kind of problem. Want any time so we see whereby somebody is not logged in and then try to access some functions or can want to go to some places that we don't want it. Someone that is not actually on our side or someone that doesn't actually that is not actually logged in to go to. So this we are going to make use of a decorator that Django tends to provide for us, which is actually you can actually call it logged in required. So to import this, we are going to go from that of the our Django that we have. I think that was Django that was contrib. This contrib of a guy that was hot. I think that was dot decorators. Yeah, decorators import what do you want to import login. Because this is going to force somebody to actually log in before you can maybe come to this of the trust profile. Get this to be working. What you need to do is actually to go to that this of our use. I think this was user profile and want somebody to be logged in before you can actually go to on this function. So we're going to make use of, since that was a decorator, so we can see, then we can call it out of the login required. So let's actually go back and do this. This is not still going to work. Still going to get a different error. Okay, I think our site was trying to load up. So it doesn't have any problem. So you can see page not found. And then we'll get this kind of URL request URL HTTP want to save account login next user profile. Using the URL config define Django blah blah blah. Try this URL in this order. I think that was the URL. This was this guy. The current part account didn't match any of the. I've seen this error because the bug is doing that. But I'm getting a whole lot of error. But the main idea of the error that we're getting is that when Django try to send somebody to log in first, Django doesn't actually know where to actually send somebody to, so you have to actually set it. And then we're going to do that in this of the going to go in this of the these are our settings. So I'm going to let Django know that if you want to in case you want somebody to actually be logged in before you can view some particular web page of our site, you need to direct that person to actually to that of the login page. And to do that, in this of the settings, we are going to say our this of our login underscore URL. Simple as that. I'm going to set it to what that should be login what page. So we want to send that person to this of our address. I think this is login page. That's why I want to send someone to. Let me just copy so everything should be the same. So come over there, just copy that. Let's paste it. I think this piece is easy. So let's actually go back and run our server. Okay, save the invalid. Come on, what's wrong with this guy? Let's actually go back home. Let's go to what did this say? Seems to be up. Okay, it's running successfully right now. So let's try to go back to that of user underscore profile. And let's see what I can see has been redirected to that of the login. So let's say I want to change this to that of the about page. So about page, and then I want to top this slash user underscore what profile. You can see I've redirected to that of the about page. So we'll let Django know that when we use this of this decorator, this login required, want to redirect somebody to our login page in case that person is not authenticated. So I hope that actually makes sense. That's not hard to actually understand.